to my minimalist home. I thought I would do a little updated tour because a few things have changed. So I'm going to kind of just show you the few little things I've changed and tell you why. So basically when I first moved in here, my home was completely ultra minimal. The only furniture that I had was a sofa and a bed. That was it. And there was a play couch in my son's room, but there was nothing else. Since then, I have added three areas. So I'm going to tell you why I've added to my ultra minimal home, and it's now still a very minimal home, but I'm going to tell you why I've added to it and what I've added. So I thought I would do an updated version. So yeah, let me take you along. We're going to start in the living room. Okay, so that's the living room. You might have noticed that one of the biggest things that has changed is the breakfast nook behind me, but I won't get into that just yet. I'm going to show you the other area of the house that has really changed ever since we moved in, and that is the entryway, so I'll tell you about that in a sec. But yeah, the living room, as you can see, like the main bit of the living room hasn't changed. It's still the exact same sofa, the exact same unit, which is basically just a unit for all of my various versions of Harry Potter books. And then on the right hand side of the cabinet is like just like little toys and games for my son. So like wooden blocks, like painting stuff, so just like little things like that that he can just grab and use, and like a few of his books and stuff. And then the piano as always, and that's it. And then oh yeah, as well as like I've just added this little bit of stuff here on the side, which is the boombox with a few of our CDs and stuff. But yeah, living room basically the same. So let me show the entryway because that's been one of the biggest changes in the house. So yeah, let me show you that. Okay, so as you can see with the entryway, I actually have a whole video about the entryway. How many times can you say that in one sentence? So I'm gonna link the video here if you're interested, because I did a whole like DIY makeover thing actually with my toddler. We did it together. He helped me paint and distress the benches and stuff. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the video here. Originally, there was absolutely nothing in that entrance hallway. It was just completely clear. There was nothing at all. And I just had like a really cheap kind of like plastic rack that lived in the downstairs bathroom, which is just there in the entryway. And that's where like all of our shoes, as my son became a toddler and became a lot more capable to do things on his own, that I wasn't happy with that. I wanted him to have his own little like area where he could like grab his hat, grab his socks, grab his shoes without having to struggle. Originally, I bought a white cabinet from IKEA. It was like quite a tall one. It actually came up to here, I think. So it was a very tall cabinet. It didn't feel safe for my son, and also he was unable to open the cabinet doors on his own. So it really wasn't serving the function that I wanted. So I ended up returning it. And instead I got the benches and I have the layout that you see now. So yeah, if you want to find out more about it, you can watch my separate video, which tells you all about how I did the entryway. But I'm so happy with the way it looks now. So this was definitely an area of the home where I did add pieces of furniture, basically 2 benches. It's not the end of the world, but it paid off massively because like everything's tidy, everything's organized. It's really comfortable to actually sit there, put your shoes on, and then head out the door, especially for my son. And that was the most important thing, is that he had an area that he could use on his own functionally and easily. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. And everyone has really loved it, because everyone that comes in who used to, you know, come in from the very beginning when I first moved here and there was nothing there, you change things around, because everyone knows that I'm like really ultra minimalist and like there was like literally nothing in my home. So all of my friends who come over and they see that I've added that, and then there's little like hanging baskets and stuff, they're like, I love this, it looks so nice, like it's so welcoming, I really like what you've done, like I like that you've added stuff. And that was another reason as well. Like I really wanted it to feel like a welcoming entryway. So when friends and people come over, it's like, oh, cool, this is nice. You know, it's very like welcome to my house. And then also, you know, friends with kids and stuff, I can see how functional and easy it is for them. They sit their kids on the benches, put their kids' shoes on, and it's just like, yeah, cool, this is exactly what I wanted. Like it's a family and friendly entryway. So yeah, but if you want to know more about it, just check out the link, which I'll put in the description, and if I can, I'll put it like here as well. Okay, so now from the entryway, we're just gonna come back here to the living room, and I'm gonna tell you all about the breakfast nook. So let me show you the breakfast nook first, and then I will talk to you all about that, which has been by far the biggest change in the home and the biggest addition. So let me show you the breakfast nook. Yeah, so this is the breakfast nook just behind me. And this is like by far the absolute biggest change that I've made in the home. Because before this was here in this like nook, this is like kind of like an actual nook. The sofa was actually against that wall, which meant that when you walked in, you wouldn't actually see a sofa and you would see nothing at all. The room just looked completely wide open and empty. And all you could see was the TV unit and the piano. So it was like massive in here. It was just like, just completely wide open. So by putting the table and chairs and all the bench like seating area there, the couch has actually come forward to like be in the middle of the room, which has been pretty much the biggest change to the living room really. So it is fine. I'm happy with it. I actually think it works well. And my toddler surprisingly still has like enough space to run around and have fun. We still bring the play couch down sometimes and he plays with that as well. So it's actually not been as big of a change, as big of a deal as I thought it would be. Sometimes I do still very much miss or prefer the feel and the look of that completely clear, wide open space with nothing else here. But the thing is, I I just felt it was really important to have a table and chairs. Yeah, I feel like having a table and chairs is like a really big part of family life, as well as like for, no, I wouldn't say like entertaining, but like for having friends and people around. I just thought it's really nice to have a place where we can all sit and hang out and chat. But also it's such an amazing area for like, you know, in Christmas time, we're gonna sit there and write our Christmas cards. You know, we can do crafts there, we can paint there, we can whatever. And I just love the idea of having, well, a breakfast nook. It's something that I've always wanted, is to have like a breakfast area. And this is not like obviously just for breakfast. This is like where we have all of our meals, because it's obviously the only table and chairs that we have. So actually the benches that run all along the back wall, there's about 2 meters on the back wall of benches, and the little corner one that comes out by the French doors that leads to the garden. So I also really like that the eating area is right next to the garden. Like you can, like we have the doors open winter, summer, whatever. Obviously not all day long in the winter, but even if it's raining, we will sit there with the windows, like with the doors, sorry, open. And the rain is basically coming down right next to you while you eat your breakfast or something, or even more amazing, your dinner by candlelight or something. So for me, the payoff, even though I feel like, yes, technically I've lost floor space, yes, technically it doesn't feel like an ultra minimalist home now because there's a whole massive breakfast nook thing there. I've also added frames, photo frames. The payoff has been like huge in the sense of like what the space has created in like for family life. And if you think about like you want to have like a growing family, this is a place where you could easily fit like so many kids. But yeah, you can probably like really comfortably seat probably like 8 people there. And I just love that. I love the idea that you can have this great space right next to the outdoor kind of area. And it's just perfect. I love it so much. So it's all from IKEA. The benches are actually the same exact benches that I used in the entryway, which for the entryway we distressed and we painted, but these I left as natural solid pine wood. So yeah, it's all from IKEA. So yeah, by and large, that is one of the that is probably the biggest change to my home. It's the place where there's the most new furniture, and it's also the reason why the entire layout of the living room has basically changed as well. But like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world. Before that, I was weaning him when we moved in here, so obviously there wasn't really a need for a table. I would actually just eat every meal with him in the kitchen. What's it called? His high chair tray would be like where we ate together as a mini table type of thing. So there was no real need for a table, and also because it's carpeted here, the last thing I was gonna do was bring like a 9-month-old who's weaning and throwing food on the floor and just like set him up here on the carpet. So it was just a lot easier to just do that in the kitchen. But eventually, as life changed and you know my son became a toddler, I realized, well, we could all be sitting down at the table and having food together. And yeah, so great addition, would never want to change it. But yes, sometimes I still think about like, I wonder if there's somewhere else that I could put the table so that I could still have everything clear in the living room, because I love the feeling of having that wide open space. But there really isn't anywhere else that would look as cool as that. Like that just feels like such a cozy area where you can just go and eat and hang out. So yeah, that's kind of like, this is gonna be like, that's kind of like the biggest section of this video really, because that's the biggest change. But now let me show you upstairs in the bedroom. So my bedroom and then my toddler's room / playroom. Okay, so that was the bedroom. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing in there except for one bed and one bedside table. And the bedside table has, it's not like, it doesn't have drawers or anything. And I've literally just stacked those few books there more for decorative, like comforting purposes than for anything else. And yeah, it's just like one little lamp and my analog clock, and that's it. So yeah, I obviously like to keep that space super minimal. It's just for sleeping. There's nothing else in there. There's nothing else I want or need in there. And I love having it super clear. I'm thinking I might want to add a bedside table. So like the exact same thing on the other side. That's actually the Beckvam stool from IKEA. So it's not actually like a bedside table. It's just like a stool. And I actually painted it that color. So I think originally it was like another color. I don't know if it was like pine or something, but I painted it that kind of like really dark mahogany wood color. And I love it because I feel like it really matches through all the seasons, especially my favorite seasons, autumn and winter. So yeah, that's the bedroom. There's nothing to write home about. It's very simple, super minimal. There's nothing in there anywhere. And that's the way that I like it, because it's just a place where you should go and relax and feel peaceful and sleep. You shouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to walk into a bedroom. I wouldn't want to walk into a bedroom where there's like, I don't know, a big chest of drawers and there's decor and this, like, it would just completely overstimulate me and overwhelm me. I really just love the blankness, so to speak, of that room. But by adding the lights and the fairy lights and the little books and stuff like that, I mean, again, it's not like they're super visible, but just the fact that they're in there just helps make it a little bit more cozy, a little bit more comforting. And there's like one plant pot in the window as well, which I always like oscillate between, do I want that there or do I want the window ledge totally clear? I might put a candle there going into the winter, like autumn winter season. But yeah, that's the bedroom. So let me show you now my toddler's room and the playroom. We've given him the biggest room in the house because I always knew that I wanted him to have that. But I always knew as well that I wanted him to have like an awesome playroom where he could jump and climb and just do whatever he wanted. So yeah, let me show you his room. Okay, so my son's room is maybe my favorite room in the whole house. As you can see, it's quite minimal as well. It's really just wide open, and there's just a bed, as you can see there, along that back wall, which is kind of like in a nook as well. And then there's just the play couch here underneath me to my left, and the bookcase, and yeah, what you saw. So it's very clear and open. Because again, I wanted it to be a place where he could just run around and play. This is basically like, this is his bedroom, but he doesn't sleep here. He sleeps with me, we co-sleep. So this is really just a place where he just comes and plays, and he goes crazy. So he uses the play couch, he climbs, he throws stuff, and basically, as you can see, the room is completely wide open, so he can't hurt himself. There's nothing in his way. And yeah, there's just nothing but empty space here for him to just run around and play. Now, on and off, there's been different things in the room. The bed is one of the newest additions as well. So this is one of the other, so those three areas that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, they are the entryway, the breakfast nook, and the bed in this bedroom. So the bed is actually a full single. I sort of a little bit regret getting such a big bed because obviously he doesn't really use it for sleeping, and he was using it for napping, but now he's not napping anymore either. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with that now. I'm gonna have to think about some stuff because yeah, there's a lot of stuff to think about, so I'm gonna have to think about. And yeah, then for autumn winter, we're thinking we're gonna probably bring the tent back out so that he has that and he can play in that because he loves the tent. So yeah, there's always been like a few, it's always basically stayed exactly like this, but there's just been a few different things which sometimes we put away just to give him like a break and then we take back out. So the easel is one of those things, the tent is one of those things, and sometimes he's got like this rocking horse thing that comes in and out of his like play closet. Yeah, this is his room, and like I said, it's pretty much one of my favorite spaces in the home because this is where we can all really just come and play and go crazy, which is really fun, and he does that every day, multiple times a day. Let me take you back downstairs and I'll just show you the kitchen really quickly and then wrap the video up. So this is the play closet I was talking about here on the right hand side. On the left hand side is like his actual closet where I've put like fairy lights and wallpaper and stuff just to try and make it quite cute. And then he's got like his clothes there. So yeah, I've just tried to like make that really cool for him. So he has like a little magical place and he likes walking in there. But then here on the right hand side, that's like his play closet where we keep toys that we rotate. And like I said, things like the easel and the tent and stuff like that. Okay, so that's the end of the tour. Yeah, there's been a few changes, as you saw, like I mentioned. The breakfast nook is the biggest change, the hallway, and my son's room, adding the bed to my son's room has been kind of like the biggest changes in how the space feels. The kitchen, as you saw, is completely clear. There's no like appliances and things like that. We do have a food processor and a blender, but because we don't really have that many things in the cupboards, they're actually just in the cupboard, and when we want to use them, we pull them out and use them. So the countertops are always clear like that. I can't stand it when there's anything on the countertops. I can't stand if people put like papers or mail there or just unnecessary things, bottles, whatever. Everything has a home, and that's the way that I like it, but that's also the way that I'm able to keep my home looking tidy like this all the time, as well as because I don't have that many things, I'm not constantly having to go around and putting things away and stuff like that. So that's another big bonus of being a minimalist. I only have what I need, only have what I use, and then when that item or thing is being used, when it's done being used, it gets put away. It gets put away back in its home, in its place where it goes, and you know, on to the next thing. I just never have stuff that just sits on the counter. I always have them completely clear, as you saw them. And obviously, if we've been cooking, then yes, of course, there will be mess. But I always like to clean the stuff up as I go, and by the time I'm done cooking, pretty much everything will have been put away again, and the only things left are the pans on the hob, basically cooking away. Yeah, that is my updated minimalist home tour. Let me know, do you think it's minimal? Do you think it's not that minimal anymore since I've added the breakfast nook? Yeah, let me know what you think. I still feel like it is quite a minimal home because there isn't like stuff everywhere, and it still feels very like clear to me. But yeah, I do feel it's not as ultra minimal as it was before because there's two big, massive new pieces of furniture, the table and the bed upstairs. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.